Megan looked out the window of her small store, the one that had become a symbol of everything she had lost. The shelves were empty, her heart was heavy, and the silence of the shop only made it worse. People passed by, some with pity in their eyes, others whispering and laughing behind her back. It seemed like everyone in the community had something to say about her failed business, but Megan couldn't hear it anymore. She had heard it all before. Life had been different before her husband died. They had a good life. They had everything, enough money for food, school fees, and even the occasional treat. Betty, her daughter, was always the brightest in the room. She had big dreams, and Megan was determined to give her a better life. But when her husband died unexpectedly, everything turned upside down. Megan found herself standing alone, facing the harsh reality of their poverty. Betty, now about to graduate high school, had her heart set on university. But there was a problem. Megan had nothing left to give. The bills piled up, and the few friends they had left turned their backs. So Megan decided to open a small provision store, thinking it could be their way out. But that was when she faced another harsh reality. Without enough money to even stock the shelves, the store was doomed from the start. Megan would sit there for hours, hoping someone would walk in, but no one did. Her neighbors, who once smiled at her, now avoided eye contact. Every day felt like a failure. One evening, Betty came home, her face lit up with excitement. "Mom, I spoke to Lisa today. You know, the one who sells wood at the sawmill," she said, rushing to tell her mom about what she had learned. Lisa had a thriving business. She was making money hand over fist. In fact, she was so successful that she had to turn customers away because she couldn't handle the demand. Betty had asked Lisa how she did it, and Lisa had shared her secret: a group of women who put their money together, contributing every month, and when it was their turn, they received a huge sum of money to invest back into their businesses. It sounded like a dream. "I know it sounds too good to be true, but Lisa says it works," Betty explained, her voice filled with hope. Megan listened, not knowing whether to feel excited or skeptical. She had tried so many things, and nothing had worked. But this could be the chance she had been praying for. Maybe it's the answer, she thought. But asking Lisa for help wasn't easy. Lisa was doing well, and Megan was just a struggling mother with an empty store. Megan's pride almost stopped her from asking. But in the end, she couldn't stand the thought of failing her daughter. She called Lisa and begged her for help. "Please, Lisa, show me how this works. I can't stand being laughed at anymore. I just want to make things right for Betty," she pleaded. She promised that when it was Megan's turn to collect her contribution, she would lend her an extra 200,000 naira, making it a total of 700,000 naira. Megan was overwhelmed with gratitude. For the first time in months, she felt a flicker of hope. This is it, she thought. This is the start of something new. But when the money finally came, Megan didn't do what Lisa had told her. Instead of using half of it to invest in her business, she spent it on herself. She bought new clothes, shoes, a new handbag, and even a wig. She felt like she deserved it after all the hardship she had faced. "I've worked hard," she told herself. "I deserve this." Betty was disappointed when she saw her mother's choices. "Mom, we needed that money for the store," she said gently. But Megan brushed it off. She convinced herself that things would work out. She had enough left over to make her next contribution, so it would be fine. But deep down, she knew it wasn't. With the remaining money, Megan came up with another plan. She went to other women in the community, women who were also struggling to make ends meet. "We can do a contribution scheme together," she said, trying to convince them. "Each of us will pay 20,000 naira a month, and we'll take turns receiving 200,000 naira. It's a simple way to boost our businesses." At first, the women hesitated. But Megan's persuasive words won them over. Soon, 10 women joined the scheme, paying 20,000 naira each month. But Megan, desperate for more, took it a step further. She wrote the same number, 10, on all the pieces of paper for the monthly draw. She told the women it was just a random system, but in reality, she was making sure they would all believe they were getting their money last. For 10 months, the women paid their 20,000 naira, contributing a total of 2 million naira to Megan. Some even stole money from their husbands, and others became so obsessed with the scheme that they couldn't sleep, constantly worrying about how to pay. Megan promised them that when it was their turn to get the money, everything would be worth it. But the longer it went on, the more pressure Megan felt. She couldn't keep up with the contributions. She needed a way out. Then, she heard about a group of men who promised to double your money in no time. They claimed to be running an investment scheme that would make their money grow through farming products and exports. It sounded too good to be true, but Megan was desperate. She sold her store and invested everything, her savings, the money from her business, and all the contributions she had taken from the women. This will solve everything, she thought. I make back enough money to pay everyone, and finally, I have the life I've always dreamed of. But soon, everything started to unravel. When Megan went to the company's office to check on her investment, it was locked. The phone numbers she had been given were disconnected. Panic gripped her heart. No, this can't be happening, she whispered to herself. But it was. She had been scammed. All the money she had raised, all the hope she had pinned on this, was gone. And it wasn't just her. Everyone in the community had been taken in by the same lies. The next day, the women gathered outside her house, demanding their money. They had finally discovered what she had done, how she had tricked them into believing they were all getting the same number. Anger exploded, and the mob turned violent. They beat her, and only the arrival of the police saved her from a worse fate. In the police cell, Megan heard the news she had been dreading. The men behind the fake investment scheme had been arrested, caught trying to escape the community in the dead of night. But the damage was done. Megan had lost everything, her dignity, her business, and the trust of the women who had believed in her. In Megan's story is one of desperation, choices, and consequences. In her desperation to escape poverty, she lost sight of what really mattered. She betrayed the trust of those around her, convinced that quick solutions would solve everything. In the end, her greed led her down a path that cost her more than she could have imagined. The lesson here is simple: shortcuts and lies only take you further from the life you want. Hard work, honesty, and patience are the real keys to success. And in life, the things that matter most, trust, integrity, and love, are worth far more than any amount of money.